Hi 8th graders, this is Mr. Chamberlain and today I'm going to do a little re-explanation of why we have seasons. I'm using this to record it so it makes a little more sense to you and we'll see how it goes. So we talked a little bit in class about how the reason that we have the seasons, let me fix that first. There we go. All right. The reason that we have the seasons is not anything related to how far away from the sun we are or how close to the sun we are. That's just something that a lot of people have thought growing up, and it's totally wrong. And it's okay if that's what you thought, but that's why we go to school, to learn these new things. The Earth is tilted, and it's tilted at 23.5 degrees, which lets us get more or less indirect sunlight. So the best way I can show this is that if we live in Minnesota, let me put Minnesota up here, when the sun's rays come out, they hit the earth along the equator. So let me have a little example of a ray, and I'll put in the equator too. Here's the equator. You can tell it's the equator because I've got the little axis twisted there, so you can see how it's side to side. When it hits an area that's north of the equator, the sunlight, when it hits it really directly, and it doesn't have to spread out or anything. But like we talked about, if you live in a place that it's tilted away below the equator, if I draw this same line, you'll see that this amount here has to spread out, that little bit of sunshine, a lot more than it has to spread out here. Because it spreads out less, it's getting less direct sunlight, and while the sun is up, it feels a lot colder. So this time of year, if you live in the northern hemisphere, it's going to be summertime because the light that's hitting it hits it directly, doesn't have to spread out at all. And if you live down here, then it's wintertime because the Earth's tilted away and the sunlight that does hit has to go back at an angle. So let me show you this in another way. If I break up the Earth half and half, where it is right now, you'll see that if you live north of the equator during this time of the year, you've got a really big part of the Earth that's getting sunlight. Even, look, the North Pole right here, that gets sunlight the whole day. They get 24 hours of sunlight. If you live down here, this time of year, there's a whole lot less sunlight that's even shining on that half of the Earth. And if you live down here in the South Pole, then it's going to be dark nonstop. Let's look at this one more time. No, this will be quicker. Let's look at it now at a different time of the year. We've got the sun up here. Okay, and we'll put the Earth back up. The Earth is still tilted 23.5 degrees. I didn't do anything weird to change it. So I'll put the equator where it's tilted at. I'll put it in Minnesota. Now, I'll do the same exact thing as last time. I'll show you if you get a ray of sunlight right on the equator, no matter what time of year it is, they always get about the same amount of sunlight and not sunlight. If you live closer to the south, it doesn't have to spread out so much, but if you get to the top where it's tilted away, sorry, I had a microphone problem there. If you do it where it's tilted away, it has to spread out a lot farther. And if we look at the sunlight, you can see that the top part, which is tilted away, gets very little, and the part that's tilted towards gets way more. So that's why we have the seasons, and if it's ever in between there, I guess I can show you that too. If we have it where it's still here, the equator's there. If I ever have the sun up here, coming down, as it shines this way, the Earth is not tilted towards it or away from it. It's tilted either this way or this way. It's not tilted towards it or away from it. It's not. So that means it's not a time where it's getting a lot of sunlight, and it's not a time where it's getting a little. So we'd either call this time of year the fall or spring. That's my first little lecture. I hope it made sense to you. You can always come see me for help if you need it. So, all right, talk to you soon. Bye.